Something you guys might not know about old Chubs is I've been a Battlefield fan for a very long time. In fact, my very first Battlefield game was 1942, which came out way back in 2002. So I've had about 16 years of experience with these games, and it's really been a wild ride to play all of them and just see how the franchise has changed and evolved over time. But this year with Battlefield 5, something different has happened. The Battlefield franchise is in a tough spot right now. Battlefield 5 is basically just being shit on by everybody. The big YouTubers, a bunch of the community members. So I wanted to be positive for a change, and I wanted to talk to you guys about why I like Battlefield 5 and why I think you should give it a chance, because honestly, I think if you ignore the criticism and all of the backlash, you'll find that Battlefield 5 is a great multiplayer first-person shooter and that there's a lot of fun to be had with it. So, of course, we all know Battlefield is a great looking game, and with Battlefield 5, that really continues. I mean, this game looks and sounds phenomenal. I won't say it's a huge step up from Battlefield 1, because it's really not, but I think it has been improved in some ways, and we still have a game that is second to none as far as presentation goes. But where I really like this game is the gameplay itself. So DICE has sort of gone back to the franchise's roots, back to the 1942, the Vietnam, the 2142 days, where you didn't have this hand-holding 3D spotting, fully regenerating health, or anything like that. This game feels much more hardcore and unforgiving, and you'll notice it right away when you hop in and play. The gunplay is quick and deadly. You can take people out fast, you can die very fast. You got to be really careful. You got to move along with your teammates, check your angles, make use of cover. And since you don't have the 3D spotting that everyone can use anymore, it's possible to be ambushed all the time. So you just have to be really careful when you play this game, and you definitely want to stick with teammates and use teamwork as much as possible. They've also limited your ammo, and since your health no longer fully regenerates, that means medics are very important, and even the health and ammo crates are important now. So if you guys ever played Battlefield 1942, they used to have these lockers that you would walk up to, and they would give you some of your supplies back. This system is sort of back in Battlefield 5. You have these medic and ammo stations that you can construct, and when you build them, any player can walk up to these and activate them to get health or ammo. So it's kind of cool to have that system back in this game. They've also introduced some brand new systems that we haven't seen in Battlefield before. So you have fortifications that you can build, and these include the health and ammo stations I mentioned, sandbags, barbed wire, mounted machine guns, and things like that. So you can sort of fortify control points that your team owns in order to help you hold them and defend them. There's also a towing system, and I haven't seen this a whole lot, but you can basically tow like these anti-aircraft and anti-tank guns on the back of vehicles. There's a new health pack system, so instead of your health just fully regenerating, now each soldier can carry one health pack, and when you use this health pack, it slowly replenishes your health up to 100 over time. You got to be careful with these though, because not only are they limited, but I believe if you use a health pack and then you take damage before the healing is complete, then it sort of cancels the healing effect and you're just stuck at whatever damage you've received. So it's sort of a neat risk-reward system, and I definitely prefer the health pack system over the previous regenerating health that was, in all of the recent Battlefield games. So overall, I feel like this game plays much more like classic Battlefield than any of the recent ones like Battlefield 1, Battlefield 4, Battlefield Hardline. It just feels more old school and more hardcore. I also really like the emphasis on squads and squad play. They've made a huge change with this game where if you're in a squad and one of your squad members goes down, even if you aren't a medic, you can still go up to him and revive him. It takes a little bit longer, but you can still do it, so that helps squads sustain themselves better than before. Squad leaders also now have access to these call-ins that they can use, and basically when you're in a squad and your squad does well, they earn points, and then you can use those points to call in extra vehicles, you can call in supply drops, and you can also call in this big rocket, which most of you've probably seen in the E3 trailers and such, that just comes down and obliterates a large area. And that really reminds me of the Battlefield 2 and 2142 artillery strikes that the commanders can use. Now, of course, a Battlefield game wouldn't be jack without some great maps to play, and in my opinion, this game has some excellent maps. Now, if you watch like the Angry Joe video review, I think he really downplayed the maps in this game. He talked about how it felt like there were only like 3 maps to play on, but I couldn't disagree more. There are 9 maps in total, and I think there's a great variety of locales and even play styles. You have the colorful fields of Arras, which is like a great combined arms map. You have the ruined city of Devastation. It's an excellent, intense infantry map. You have the snowy, windy passageways of Fiel. That's another really intense infantry map. You have the sprawling desert of Hamada, which is a really large desert map that has vehicles on it, and there's a lot of long-range fighting. You have the massive fields of Panzerstorm and tons of tanks on that map. It's a huge tank map with 7 tanks per side. So there's a lot of variety here. You have your infantry maps, your combined armed vehicle maps, and the absolute massive maps that are really meant to be mostly vehicles. Now, I also like the specialization system that they have in this game for weapons and vehicles. So this is almost like an RPG skill tree system where you can go down these different paths to customize your weapons and vehicles in different ways. So just as an example, you can take like an SMG and you can go down one path that makes it more accurate, or you can maybe go down another path that ultimately will increase your magazine size. So you can go down these different paths and get a different play style or a different result from them. And I think that's really cool. And it's especially cool with the vehicles too. Like the tanks have even more paths that you can choose. And it's just fun experimenting with these paths and seeing which one benefits you the most based on how you like to play. The game also has character customization, and I think it's pretty cool. You know, you rarely see your character in game, but it's still neat being able to go in and choose your helmet, face paint, your uniform, and just mess around with it and make these soldiers your own. That was something that was really missing from recent Battlefield games, and although it doesn't add a whole lot to the experience, it's still nice to have it in here. So overall, I don't think Battlefield 5 is the dumpster fire that so many people are making it out to be. This is a really fun game that has a lot of teamwork in it, that feels very old school and unforgiving, and it's just a hell of a lot of fun to play, and it's also gorgeous and just sounds phenomenal. I've had a whole lot of fun playing this game, and if you're an old school Battlefield fan, or even if you're just curious about this franchise, I highly recommend giving this game a shot, regardless what all those big shot YouTubers out there are saying, and regardless of the bad press that you've seen. The game definitely isn't perfect. It's got some issues. DICE definitely needs to do some balancing work on some of the weapons and vehicles. But overall, I'm telling you guys, Battlefield 5 is a blast, and I'm going to say it right here and right now. I think this is hands down one of the best Battlefield games that we've seen to date. I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any questions, feel free and leave them below. This is Chubbs, signing out.